This team has a 90% win rate on Inferno, a map dominated by AWPers. So how are they doing it? While having a team that has no main AWPers. The AWPless meta is a new trend in Counter-Strike 2. And today we will analyze the team that is spearheading the AWPless meta, Preasy. Preasy have not had the best start, with being down by 2 rounds, 1-3. But into round 5, MOUZ brings out the AWP with 4 AKs, while Preasy decides to stick with 4 rifles and 1 SMG. And here we will see how they set up around the whole concept of playing in the AWPless meta. MOUZ are going for 2 players in ramp to try to win early mid and banana control, 2 players towards second middle to gather some key information about second mid, and the last player towards ramp to help out the 2 mid and banana players. While Preasy are going for 2 players towards B, taking top banana control early, then 3 players on A, and here the A players will all take quite upfront positions towards A, with 1 player inside of boiler early game, dupreeh playing from the corner here and 1 on short, to be the second line of defense if the boiler player fails. As well as the site player can quickly focus apps if needed. And here, look at the long setup. dupreeh have such an amazing position to play off the boiler player. And this is the bonus of playing no AWPers in this round, since if Preasy had an AWP, he wouldn't be able to play from here, and that is what MOUZ usually would focus on when peeking. But now dupreeh can peek from an off angle, if mid is being taken, and can play mid less predictable with a boiler player. But early game we are seeing Preasy allow the boiler player to retreat towards short in this off angle, as well as 1 banana player pushing early close to the smoke. So Preasy right now are way more aggressively set up on banana than most teams would be in a round like this. Preasy smokes and molotovs to allow Roy to get bottom banana control. And when you have no AWPs, banana and mid are key parts of Inferno. So to see how early Preasy were able to win these choke points will put MOUZ and their AWPer in quite a bad spot. MOUZ sends 3 players towards A, with 1 in apps and 2 on short. And see here, dupreeh stays for a little bit longer behind the smoke, since with a rifle it can be quite easy to get kills from the smoke and fall off, something an AWPer could not have done. The side player molotovs the short push and forces MOUZ to use a smoke to stop it, and just like that MOUZ had to smoke themselves off and have to walk back. And here is where dupreeh shines. He uses a nade to break the smoke and finds a 1-for-1 trade, and usually a 1-for-1 trade is not ideal for the CTs, but since Preasy have so much map control, as well as Preasy already being man up, they can give up a trade here to get some information instead. The second part to not having an AWP is how weak an AWP is to smokes, and this end phase of round 5 shows us why. MOUZ are down in a 3v4, but have 2 smokes and a flash to try to win back sight. And usually an AWP holding from long would have been put out of the round. But now with rifles instead, these smokes will not have as much effect. As well as we can see Preasy are now set up for the execute. They have alt-text in this power position on pit. This allows you to see the player from apps before they can really see you, by crouching next to the barrels. Since the player from apps will have to look long when he peeks out here. And then Preasy have 1 player in mini pit, making sure alt-text do not have to worry about long in sight. Brolin tries a fun flash, but this does not have any effect, and the 3-man setup can easily deal with MOUZ, and Preasy takes a round.
Assertion on a knife's edge. He turns at just the wrong time, potentially giving them an opportunity.
We are back, and now MOUZ are pulling out the AWP again, after last round's success with it. So how will Preasy deal with the AWP this time around? The round starts with an early banana smoke from spawn, and this again is done to force the AWP to be more passive, and again a passive AWP on a map like Inferno is never ideal, since Inferno is made for AWPers. Every key angle you can take on Inferno, whether it's apps, long, banana, mid or CT, you will always have the advantage with the AWP. But Preasy wants to take this advantage away and rather set up the AWP to peek into them, and not the other way around. Preasy after the smoke are going for 2 players in banana using a lot of utility, and then 3 players in A, 1 apps, 1 going side and 1 in middle. While MOUZ are going for 3 players second mid, AWP towards banana, and then 1 in ramp, looking top middle, to give crucial information about mid to the second mid players. MOUZ uses this smoke to block out the long player to peek into mid, and I think they use this closer smoke or like deeper to make it harder for an AK to spam. Since if you smoke here closer to top mid, it's easy for an AK or rifle to spam the smoke and find some kills. So this is MOUZ's way to deal with a rifler long and not an AWP, as well as netting down into boiler to hit a player there and maybe force a player out if there were any to peek the mid player sitting and waiting. alt-text peeks into apps and spots 1 player, and with great movement he stays alive and can play off this balcony. And you might not know this, but this balcony is our overpowered position now that they removed this part of the fence and alt-text wants to abuse it. It's easy to take a fight and fall back, as well as pit has turned into a much stronger position now for the CTs. dupreeh gets tagged by the AWP on long, and here he rotates over. Seems like Preasy have the call of where MOUZ will go. Since alt-text in apps was never pushed, Preasy got the idea that MOUZ might try to rotate, since why not take apps when you will not be facing an AWPer, holding the opening on long like this. Here MOUZ runs over to banana and quickly finds 2 kills, while Roy can get 1 kill back since the MOUZ player peeked out too soon and did not wait for the coffin smoke to land. but it still has 4v3 in MOUZ favor. But there's a problem. MOUZ plans for banana, but they are setting themselves up with 2 players back site and no players banana. So why not plan for the lurker coming around? As soon as the smoke fades, MOUZ are in a 2v3 on site, and the lurker will be too slow to have any proper impact, seeing that Preasy has 2 kits. Refresh finds the first kill, Roy finds a crazy lucky kill, and then, with MOUZ only having 2 players left, Preasy can afford to keep 1 player looking behind for the lurker MOUZ is so dependent on, and he finds this kill and Brolin can't win this. And not to brag too much about this setup, and with no ops, but with an op and a 3v4 retake will first of all be much harder. As well as when you have the op out, the likely scenario is to actually save it, since Preasy would not be able to afford an AWPer and a proper buy if they had lost. So not having an AWP gave them the option to actually go for this retake and win it instead.
And you've got a lurk as well. Xerxion's already making his move fast round through Arch and attempting to arrive, but will he be here in time? As they've already started to retake and they found success. 2 pickups, putting all the pressure on Brolin towards the back of the bomb site. Altex is watching the rear. Depends on timing. It's so influential that he's able to look away to give Xerxion that entry. He keeps his eyes laser focused, ready for the flank. Hits the first, trade back. Brolin all on him in a 1v2. Can't quite do it.
Wait, you said they did not have any AWPers, so why am I seeing an AWP on the Preasy team side? Well, I made an AWP guide, where I said that an AWPer need to be unpredictable. And this is the perfect example of this. Keep this in mind that TMB will be the AWPer in this round. I will tell you next round why this is important. Even though you do not have a dedicated AWPer, well, that does not mean you can't use the AWP ever. They are just not using the AWP role like most teams. But hell yeah, if they want to AWP, it's still a killing machine and a great gun to use on Inferno. In this round, Preasy still are in a 3-2 setup with 3 players on A set up like they always are, while the AWP have retreated to the corner here to go for a shot and fall back, to bait in the sandbag position for his teammate, while MOUZ are going for a 1-2-2 setup with 2 players in second mid, 2 in bottom mid and 1 in ramp. Preasy wants again to win back banana control, since this is their win condition, and here they will flash and use the AWP going for a jump peek and then spotting a player in the smoke and wins the fight. And like that, they have gotten the opening kill and a lot of info towards banana. This sends MOUZ into panic as soon as they see where the AWP is and here wants to take short fast. But versus 3 riflers, this is impossible, and here MOUZ are just crushed. And it's a 5v2, and here all MOUZ can do is to go for trades or save. But you can tell the confidence of MOUZ has faded. Look at dupreeh getting ready to peek the AWPer, and Torsi can clearly see a shadow, but decides to fall off, too afraid to be peeked by dupreeh.
Them off of quad, force them off the angles. Meanwhile, push and pull towards banana as TMB swings in with the AWP and lands an uppercut on Brolin. Altex overextending on a peak, sees the T's are barreling towards him. He backs off and draws the attention, so dupreeh come backstab. 2 clean pickups, and Preasy.
Well, I told you I would show you why this AWP-less meta is good for. Last round we saw TMB use it on B, but in this round, Refresh will be the AWPer of the team. And a fun fact, during this map, by the end of it, Refresh had the most AWP kills. A player that is not assigned to the team as an AWPer. But when you are missing this role, it's impossible to play around it and counter the AWPer. And that is why I think Refresh did such a great job with it. Preasy are set up with the AWP inside of apps, since that is where Refresh usually holds. And when MOUZ has played 10 rounds and never seen the open apps, they will not expect this at all, a perfect way to condition them. As well as having 1 player boiler, 1 peeking middle and holding the mid smoke. And of course Preasy has 2 more players on B taking early banana control, while MOUZ are going for 2 players towards mid and then 3 towards ramp. And the buy in this round are favoring Preasy, who has a full buy against MOUZ, 1 AWP, 1 rifle and 3 pistols. Xerxion uses a fun peek from top middle of the red mailboxes, but can't find a headshot and takes some damages as punishment for it. And you can see how disappointed dupreeh is for not getting this kill on Xerxion. And there's not much to say here. Preasy wins early banana control and uses this to make their A player find some kills. And take MOUZ attention so TMB can walk behind and find 2 kills, while Jimpat found a kill in apps, but with only 18 HP and a 1v4, it's not much you can do.
That's why a lot of T-sided AWPers do struggle. Refresh in the meanwhile showing that his AWP is on point. TMB from behind goes for the sneak attack and gets a double up M4 kill.
MOUZ has brought out the AWP and is of course on Torsi, who will be playing on site. A little odd angle for the AWPer, but this allows you boiler and mid control, so it's fine. While then having 1 pair on apps, 1 on long and 2 on B, the most default setup. Preasy, who has 5 riflers, wants to take what used to work on the city side with them by trying to win early top banana control, with dupreeh Molotov in car and then taking banana cubby control. while Preasy have 2 players in the ramp area and 2 towards apps. With no AWPers, you can take more map control faster since you will not have a player sitting in ramp or bottom banana behind a smoke and holding, and rather can use this open spot for the rifler to take aggressive banana control. And yes, you can still do this with an AWP as well, but this will make it more risky since it's not as easy to trade now that you have an AWP in banana and not 2 AKs. The game goes slow while Preasy tries to win some control, like from apps with 2 players but to no success, after 1 player dies, as well as in banana dupreeh tries a fun boost to no success and the game is down to a 3v5 with 35 seconds on the clock. Preasy regroups with 3 players and goes for a banana take. And here is an issue, why are MOUZ set up like this on B? Why so passive? Preasy have no AWPers, and MOUZ might want to use this against them and rather go for long range fights. As well as if the 2 players on banana were to die for no trades, Preasy can easily win this round, so the MOUZ players are just waiting on B for help. Preasy smokes CT like this to cover both CT and the boost. And here is the lineup. This is the best CT smoke at the moment. And here's the issue. Brolin finds the first kill but is traded rather fast, as well as Xerxen getting stuck in the smoke and can't find any more kills. And look at MOUZ, all 3 players are split up, while both Preasy players are playing together. If they take the fights 2v1, they will have a good shot at winning this round. And here, Refresh and Roy takes 2 fights and win both 1v1 quite risky, and this leaves Torsi left with the AWP in a 2v1, should be impossible, and he have to save.
Fallen, all on the retake, 3v2.
Chewy's also there as well in the coffins. He's going to be putting a lot of pressure on these T's. They know where one is. Not sure as to where Refresh's position currently resides, and Refresh snaps off the head. Torsi with an AWP, not tailor-made kind of weapon for these sorts of environments.
Well, why has the AWP gotten less used in CS2? Since in CSGO the AWP was the best role to play, all the stars player would be playing this role and more. Well, Counter-Strike 2 changed CS forever, and the AWP was caught in the crossfire. Now that we are playing an MR12 and not MR15 that was used in CSGO, we have fewer rounds to bring out the AWP, as well as the rifle are getting better and more impactful in Counter-Strike 2 with fewer rounds. Many think that this meta implies that the team does not play with an AWP, but that is wrong. The teams going for the AWPless meta has just opted to not recruit a main AWPer and rather have more option for who to AWP. Many see this AWPless meta as a good thing, since this opens up a player to rather have a rifle, and this gives them a lot of options, since if we have a team of 5 players, let's put them into a CT side Inferno, and AWP has to play here or here, since these are the most optimal positions for the AWPer to rotate, have impact and find kills. But this as well makes the AWPer way more predictable, and here is where having no main AWPers can shine. Since if you rather have 5 riflers, you can start going for less predictable setups, like using a 3-man setup on short, or have the AWP rotate on the few players using it in the team, as we saw Preasy do to be less predictable. Many teams knows who will be the AWPer. If you play versus Vitality, well, Saivu will be the AWPer, on FaZe, Brokey, on Spirit, Shiro and more, and this makes it a little bit easier to counter them, since you know who will AWP, how they like to play, move, make decisions and more. But when you do not have a main AWPer, teams can't really predict who AWPs and how to counter their playstyle of AWPing. I do not think Spirit, Astralis, FaZe or Vitality wanted to trade away their AWPers and go for the AWPless meta, since they have what you would call great AWPers. And here is where the AWPless meta fails, since if you have an AWPer to any of these players' caliber, then why would you not keep them? They have impact, clutches, kills and more, and most AWPless team went AWPless since they couldn't find a great AWPer. And with only good AWPers, you're better off signing a more impactful rifler. Look at Cloud9, they lost Shiro, a top 3 AWPer this year and almost ever since just joining the scene. And this is something you just can't replace. And here they opted to rather sign a better rifler instead of finding new AWPers to carry them. The open armor is worth more than AK armor and full utility. So to go for the AWPless meta, you are saving money for the whole team, since you are not depending on buying an AWP for your AWPer, and this allows you better buys, more flexibility with your money. Preasy are one of the teams that actually have made the AWPless meta work for now. They are fighting for a major spot, let's hope they get it, since they understood what the missing AWP role took away from the team in the theoretical way of setting up a team and adapted to this. But there are teams at Cloud9 trying the same to no success. Thanks for watching, and there are 2 videos YouTube told me you would like.